Good morning, this is Dwayne, and today I'd like to take up one of the most beautiful of all chords, a chord that's really a workhorse chord because it's used so much in music because it's such a mellow chord, and that's the minor 7th chord. Minor 7th chords sound like this. See that? Beautiful sound. And a minor 7th chord is formed, of course, out of a minor chord with a dominant 7th, not a natural 7th, but a dominant 7th. So let's take it from the beginning here. If we're playing it in the key of C, then we're basing our playing on the scale of C, which has 8 notes, of course, that runs from C to C, following our rule of whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Okay? So a major chord is the root, 3rd, and 5th of that scale. To make it minor, I simply lower the 3rd a half step. And then to add a 7th, I don't use the 7th note of the scale, I use the lowered 7th. That's why it's called, well, it's not why it's called a minor 7th, but it is called a minor 7th. The interval here is called a minor 7th, but the chord is also minor, so that name kind of has a double entendre, okay, which is fine. Minor 7th, that's how it's formed. And notice it's a stack of minor 3rd, major 3rd, minor 3rd, okay? Minor 3rd. In other words, not a major 3rd there, but a lowered 3rd, step and a half. Then for the next interval is a major 3rd, and then the next interval is a minor 3rd. So it's minor 3rd, major 3rd, minor 3rd. In other words, it's well balanced. And I think that's why it's so beautiful. It's just a well balanced chord. Later we're going to take up the minor 7th with a 9th, and that's also a beautiful chord. I need 2 hands to play because my hands are small, but sound like that. And that's a beautiful chord. I think even, very, very beautiful because it's so well balanced too. That's a minor 3rd, a major 3rd, minor 3rd, major 3rd. I mean, it's totally balanced, that minor 9th. Okay, so let's go through the 12 possibilities, the 12 minor 7th chords, and form them one by one. We form the C minor 7th chord by making a minor chord, then adding the 7th. So let's do it with F. That's F major. F minor, we lower the 3rd. That's the dominant 7th or the lowered 7th. If you get this sound, you know you're playing the wrong chord. That's a major 7th. If it sounds like that, kind of, then that's not the chord you want. You want the lowered 7th, okay? Here's G major. Let me move it down here. G major, G minor 7th. Again, we don't want that. That would be a major 7th, but I would be a minor chord of the major 7th, which is also a chord, but it's not much used. So that's what we want, G minor 7th. Now, D major is like that, isn't it? D, F sharp, and A, again, because of our rule of whole steps and half steps, okay? To make that minor, I lower the 3rd a half step. Then I add the 7th degree, not the 7th degree of scale, but the lower 7th. So that's the D minor. D minor is all white. D minor 7th is all white. E minor 7th is also all white, and A minor 7th is all white. So let's come back to E now. That's an E major chord, E minor 7th. E minor 7th. Now here's A major, A minor 7th. Here's D flat major, D flat minor 7th. E flat major, E flat minor 7th. Notice that's all black. Okay? All the notes are black. All the keys are black in that chord. And notice too that it's halfway between D minor 7th and E minor 7th. So there's a lot of possibilities to do this sorting. Quite often when we improvise on the chord notes. For example, if I'm improvising on D minor 7th. If you're just starting to improvise, by the way, it's a good idea to just start with chord notes like that in various rhythms. And get the feeling of, being loose and kind of fun. Then you can use some other chord notes. You don't have to use other scale notes. You don't have to use just those notes. but you want to kind of center your improvisation around them. In other words, I might take those 3 notes, but I might slide off D flat. See that? Okay, easy to do. All right, we were on, let's see, D flat, E flat, A flat now. A flat major. That's the root, 3rd, and 5th of A flat major scale. We lower the 3rd a half step. By the way, that's C flat. Can't call it B, gotta call it C flat. And then the 7th G flat. Okay, G flat major is all black, as you know. We lower the 3rd a half step, add the 7th, so that's G flat minor 7th, or you could call it F sharp minor 7th. Same chord, it's enharmonic, right? Here's the B major chord, B minor 7th. B flat major, B flat minor 7th. Okay? Now there's tons of songs that use that chord. In fact, the theme of our little band that I was in when I was in high school and in early college, junior college, was Moonglow, and it starts out with that minor 7th. Okay? And one of the first chords I learned was D minor 7th. I sent away for a chord chart when I was 14 or something like that, that I saw advertised. It's called the Dean Ross chord chart. And the first chord I learned was C6. Then I played D minor, learned D minor 7th. So I could play Frankie and Johnny were sweethearts. And I was thrilled. I was off and running because I'd learned 2 chords, okay? And if you're just getting started, then get excited about the chords, those chords you love, and just take it one step at a time. It's possible to get from here to there by mastering one thing at a time. And it's a lot of fun on the way. Piano playing is a lot of fun, so I don't see it as work at all. I see it as just fun exploration. Okay, that's it for today. So work on minor 7th chords and get those down, and then tomorrow or the next day we'll take up another kind of 7th called a major 7th chord. All right, we'll see you there. And meanwhile, if you haven't signed up for our free piano tips at playpiano.com, please come over to playpiano.com and sign up for our free piano tips. They're free piano tips, and I think you'll enjoy them. So we'll see you there. Bye-bye for now.